The carousel music stopped first. Then came the screaming. On the busiest summer Saturday at Sunset Amusement Park, while families enjoyed cotton candy and rode carnival rides, two armed gunmen opened fire near the Ferris wheel. But 18-year-old Madison Sullivan, who had just gotten off the spinning teacups, watched her father move differently than everyone else, calm, precise, as if he'd been waiting for this moment his entire life. What happened in the next 43 seconds would change everything Madison thought she knew about the man who taught her to ride a bike. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before we begin this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button because 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed yet. James Sullivan looked exactly like what he was, a 48-year-old school security consultant from Denver, slightly overweight, his hair turning increasingly gray, constantly losing his glasses. He drove a Toyota Camry, never missed his daughter's volleyball games, and had been drinking the same coffee from the same shop for 8 years. His neighbors knew James as reliable, but boring. He mowed his lawn every Saturday, paid his taxes on time, never made noise. His biggest excitement was monthly book club meetings. To Madison, her father was the safest person in the world. He never raised his voice, solved problems by writing reports, and his biggest risk was making mistakes in school security protocols. But what happened at the park that morning would make Madison question everything about her father, because James Sullivan had made very different security assessments in previous years, life and death assessments. 18 years earlier, James Sullivan was Covert Operations Specialist James Sullivan, Delta Force Special Operations Unit, the U.S. military's most elite, most secret unit, a unit mentioned only in legends. James had joined the Army at 21, a small-town kid with big dreams. Delta Force selection was the world's toughest military test. In a process where only 15 out of 1,000 people succeeded, James had managed to place in the top 10. His first assignment was in Kandahar, Afghanistan in 2006. He had served in operations targeting Taliban leaders. James's specialty was CQB, close quarter battle, close-range combat. He had trained to fight in narrow spaces under civilian protection with maximum precision. His second assignment was in Mosul, Iraq in 2008. Urban warfare was very different. Ambushes at every corner, every building a trap, every civilian a potential enemy. But James's real skill was hostage rescue operations, school raids, hospital operations, civilian protection missions. Protecting children was always the priority. His third assignment was classified operations on the Syrian border, missions to prevent terrorist organizations from targeting children. Every child's life was sacred. James had served in 89 successful operations over 11 years. No children were lost in any of them. He had retired in 2017. 15 years of war, countless operations, severe PTSD. Adjusting to civilian life was very difficult, constantly looking for threats, afraid of every sound, therapy, medication, veteran support. But none of it was enough. One day when he saw children in the park, everything changed. They were playing, they were safe. He thought about the children he couldn't protect in Afghanistan, but here were children he could protect. When he applied for the school security consultant position, James's military background had been checked. Perfect record, reliable background, but no one knew the Delta Force details. For 8 years, he had been auditing security protocols at 34 schools in Denver, ensuring thousands of children received education in a safe environment. People thought he was just a consultant who wrote reports, but actually, he was a silent protector. And today, that protective training would save lives. "Dad, you're walking too slow," Madison complained, pulling James toward the cotton candy stand. "This is an amusement park, not a deadly mission." James smiled. If only Madison knew how wrong she was. Sunset Amusement Park was completely packed on Saturday afternoon. It was one of the hottest days of summer, and all the families in Denver had come to the park to cool off. Screams, laughter, music sounds, children's joy. Perfect summer day atmosphere. While Madison reached for cotton candy, James automatically scanned the surroundings. 18 years of tactical awareness was as natural as breathing. Security cameras, exit routes, crowd density, potential threat points. "Should we ride the Tornado?" Madison asked, pointing to the park's highest speed roller coaster. James's stomach turned. At 48, he was definitely too old, but father-daughter time was sacred, especially with only 2 months until Madison left for university. "Okay, but if I throw up, it's your fault." Madison laughed. Right at that moment, very different plans were being set in motion elsewhere. Tyler Brooks and Ryan Martinez had been planning this for 4 months. The two young men, ages 26 and 24, had been spending months on online radicalization forums, outcasts from society, angry, building revenge fantasies. They had specifically chosen Sunset Amusement Park because Saturday afternoons had maximum crowds. Their goal was to cause as much pain as possible. Families with children, birthday parties, happy memories, they wanted to destroy it all. They had studied the park's layout for weeks, timed security rotations, obtained their weapons from different states. Their plan was simple. Start at the most crowded area near the Ferris wheel, move systematically through the park, cause maximum damage before police arrived. They expected it to last 8 to 12 minutes. In that time, they could kill dozens of children. Tyler thought he had calculated everything. He hadn't counted on James Sullivan. 2:42 p.m. Madison had finished her cotton candy and was holding James's hand. "If we ride the Ferris wheel, we can see the whole park from the top." "Let's ride that scary tornado first, then we can relax," James said. "Okay, but first I want to get that stuffed panda." Madison pointed to the game stand. James smiled from childhood memories. Everything was so normal, so beautiful that the first gunshots cut through the carousel music. Pop, 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 pop. The sound was familiar. James had heard thousands of gunshots in war, instantly knew this wasn't fireworks or car backfire. This was automatic weapons fire. Close range, crowded area. While people around him froze in confusion, James's 18 years of Delta Force training kicked in. His body reacted before his mind caught up. In the next 43 seconds, James would make 12 critical decisions in succession. 9 of them would save lives. 3 of them would forever change Madison's perspective of her father. "Madison, get down! Now!" James's voice had changed, no longer the gentle tone of a security consultant, but command voice. Madison heard her father speak in a tone she'd never heard before, but that voice wasn't the kind you argued with. She immediately dropped to the ground. James dropped his cotton candy stick and moved toward the gunfire. Not away, toward. Every instinct came from years of Delta Force training. Protect innocent people, neutralize the threat, prevent civilian casualties. 30 meters away, he saw 2 attackers firing into the crowd in the food area near the Ferris wheel. Tyler Brooks on the right, Ryan Martinez on the left in crossfire position. Coordinated attack, not amateurs. People were screaming, running, falling, children crying, families scattering, blood staining the park's colorful pavement. James instantly assessed the tactical situation. 2 targets, crossfire position, civilian zone, maximum crowd. Approach route. From the left flank, using game stands as cover, silent approach. Surprise factor available. Delta Force survival logic, protect 1 child, protect them all. James moved, using Delta Force silent movement technique. No footsteps, perfect breath control, body posture in hunter mode. Despite the chaos around him, he remained invisible. 25 meters, he could see Tyler Brooks clearly. Young, nervous, hands shaking slightly as he changed magazines. Adrenaline was making him clumsy. James had learned to use adrenaline differently, to focus it, control it, make it sharper rather than shakier. 20 meters. James searched for improvised weapons among the plastic prizes at the game stand. Large stuffed panda, 5 kilos, firmly stuffed, suitable for the move. Ryan Martinez had finished his magazine and was installing a new one. Tyler Brooks was aiming at a family with 3 small children, crouched in fear, completely open targets. James had 3 seconds to intervene. 15 meters. James grabbed the stuffed panda and threw it at Tyler. At the same time, he slid toward Ryan's position. Double movement, Delta Force team tactics. The panda hit Tyler's head, disrupting his aim. The bullet went into the air. James lunged at Ryan. James brought Ryan to the ground. 18 years of close combat training kicked in, left arm controlling the rifle, right elbow hitting the solar plexus. Ryan lost his breath and dropped the weapon. As Tyler recovered and aimed again, James rolled. He grabbed Ryan's dropped rifle and turned it toward Tyler. "Drop the weapon!" Delta Force command voice. "Now!" Tyler hesitated. Fatal mistake. James shot to deflect the weapon away from Tyler. The rifle spun in the air and fell outside the security area. Then he jumped on Tyler. Right cross to the solar plexus, left hook to the temple, takedown maneuver. Tyler face down, arms behind back, Delta Force arrest position. As Ryan tried to get up, James controlled him too. Both attackers were neutralized. Total time, 43 seconds. The park fell silent except for screaming and siren sounds. James was controlling both attackers while scanning for additional threats. Delta Force protocol. Stay alert until the area is cleared. Madison got up from the ground and looked at her father. She didn't recognize this man. His movements were different, his posture was different, his voice was different. The gentleman who dealt with security reports for 18 years was gone. In his place was a cold-blooded, lethal professional operator. "Dad?" Madison whispered. James looked at his daughter. In her eyes was something he hadn't seen in 18 years. Not fear, but unfamiliarity. Not knowing who he was. "Madison, you're safe," James said. His voice was still in operational command tone. "Ambulances are coming." Madison watched her father's hands. Calm, professional, blood-stained but not trembling. He seemed unaffected by the chaos around him. For the first time, she realized she knew nothing about her father. Police arrived in 3 minutes. SWAT in 6. By then, James had secured both attackers' weapons, provided first aid to 5 wounded people, and cleared the area for additional threats. Chief Martinez was the first to interview James, a 22-year veteran police officer. She had seen every type of hero. She immediately recognized James. "Sir, this was an incredible performance," Chief Martinez said. "This level of tactical intervention, military training." James had been avoiding this question for 8 years. Now he had nowhere to run. His identity had been exposed in front of Madison's eyes, security cameras, and witnesses. "Special Forces," he said quietly. "Delta Force, 11 years active duty." Martinez's eyebrows rose. Delta Force was a legendary unit. Number of operations? 89 successful missions, 0 civilian casualties. "Why didn't you shoot? You had the authority to use lethal force." James looked at Madison. His daughter was still in shock. "Because," James said, "I'm not that person anymore. The day Madison was born, I stopped being a warrior. I became a protector." That night, James and Madison talked at home, the first real conversation after 18 years. "Dad, who are you really?" Madison asked. James was silent for a long time. Then he began to tell. Afghanistan, Iraq, secret operations, the children he saved, PTSD, transition to civilian life, protecting her every day. "Why did you never tell me?" "Because you are my most valuable operation, Madison. Keeping you safe. The day you were born, my priorities changed. I was no longer trying to save the world. I was just protecting your world." Madison looked at her father with new eyes. Not scary, but protective. Not dangerous, but trustworthy. "Could you have killed those people?" "Yes." "Why didn't you?" "Because I'm no longer a warrior. I'm a father, and fathers protect, they don't destroy." James Sullivan still works as a school security consultant, still goes to his daughter's volleyball games, still drinks the same coffee. But he's no longer hidden. Madison tells her friends, "My dad is a superhero." James trains local police. He provides advanced security consulting to schools. Most importantly, Madison now truly knows her father, and she's proud. 43 seconds. That's how long it took for a father's secret identity to be revealed. That's how long it took For 11 years of Delta Force training to kick in at the critical moment. That's how long it took to prove that heroes don't need to wear uniforms. Sometimes they carry school security reports, and sometimes they're right there when the world needs them most. So I ask you, do you know veterans quietly serving in your emergency response community? Hidden military backgrounds silently contributing to civilian emergency services? Share your experiences in the comments. Because at Hidden Legends, we believe the greatest protectors often serve in the most critical community moments. If this story moved you, share it, subscribe, and help these important veteran stories continue. See you in the next legend. Real heroes transform their forms of service, but life-saving commitment is eternal.